Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first of many and the first of a long, long time. The one and only, the exclusive with Nicholas London. Of course, that's me, of course. And joined with me right now happens to be the female referee here in New Brunswick and somebody who I have the utmost respect for. Her name is May. And
Hi.
May, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
It's a beautiful day outside. Can't ask for a better day.
It's a beautiful day and we're stuck inside. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, I was going to do the show outside, but the sun was shining and it was shining off my bald head and you couldn't even see anything. So here we are. I'm inside now. Lots of stuff to talk about, lots to cover. Obviously, right out of the chute, I want to let everyone know that obviously Truthbusters tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Atlantic, 8 p.m. Eastern, Cueball Carmichael Jon Stewart, and we're going to cover all that tomorrow night. But the guest of honor, it just happens to be May. So, May, first things first, how does a lovely lady like yourself wind up in this wacky world of professional wrestling?
Honestly, I have my husband to thank for that. When we first started dating 15 years ago, I wanted nothing to do with wrestling. When he would watch it, I was bored. Unless Rey Mysterio was on. He was the only wrestler back in the day that I actually enjoyed. It turns out high flying is my favorite kind of wrestling, so that probably stems from that. But what really got me into it is the first time IHW came to Camilton and I got to watch a show live for the first time. Completely changed my perspective on wrestling. Like, being in that crowd really made all of the action pop, and it was a wonderful experience. And it was also Madison Miles' debut. And the getting to watch a woman actually do this live in my region kind of made me feel like I might be able to do this too.
I find
but female refs didn't exist back in the day.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, no, I would never want to wrestle. Like, it's not something I want to do. I was like, I'd love to ref, but I don't belong in a ring with 250-pound men.
I love it. And we're going to cover all that and more. Madison Miles, a great icebreaker because she has done so well for herself. And we have seen her and we followed her. What's it like for you loving Rey Mysterio? But to me, Madison presents almost a completely different ring style than Rey. But Madison is a woman, and obviously, that tells you something, that, you can do this. It's whether or not you want to. But what's it like seeing someone like her who was a fan and has decided, hey, I'm going to live out my dream, and now she is all in. Pardon the pun, but...
Knowing what she's went through and following her career has really shown me that if she can do it, then any woman can do it. She started off, she was so young and yet so respected by everybody in the business. It was beautiful to see, and it inspired me. But what really, really took is in November of 2018, I saw Emily, who's 115 pounds, and she's 5'3", 5'4", and she Iron Womaned an entire show for UCW. And at the end of that night, I looked at Trevor and I was like, I want to be a ref. I legitimately want to be a ref. And I got myself in shape. I lost over 60 pounds, and then we went to watch, almost exactly a year ago, actually, the All-Women Maritime Wrestling Cup. All the refs were women, all the wrestlers were women, the camera crew was women.
That's awesome.
And that day, I was like, yeah, no, this is happening. We're figuring out how this is going to happen. And I spoke to New Scott, who directed me to Emily again. And I spoke to her, who directed me to CAW, because they were the closest promotion to home, and they only had one ref. They've only had one ref for about 4 years now. So she told me, go talk to them, see if they would be willing to train you, and it would help them out as much as it would help you out.
So you walk in there, and this is Emily Parker, am I right?
Yes.
So you walk in there, you're sitting there with your husband, and you're going, I want to do this. What's he thinking? Is he thinking, yes, go for it, May? Or is he saying, well, you know what? It may not be for you. What is his first impression to you? Because I'm thinking he's saying, well, honey, it's not as, it's not easy. It's going to take a lot of work. What's his feelings?
He was jealous that I got into the business before he did.
Yeah.
He had always wanted to be a booker. He has a great mind for wrestling, and when we watch shows, he's like, it would have been better booked this way.
I love that.
It's something he had always wanted to do, and that I had basically never shown interest in. And when I started showing interest in it, I was like, no, I want this, and made it happen. And I got into the business before he did, and as much as he loved it, a little part of him resented me for it, because he was like, this was supposed to be my dream.
And you know what? I get it. I get that. I mean, I've spoke to Trevor. I would encourage anyone who listens to these shows, and I know you're worldwide because I've talked to you guys that are overseas, that are in the States, that are in Canada, and how much you guys love this show. Go back and listen to that interview with Trevor, because a mind for the business would be an understatement. He very smart man, knows what he's looking for, and gets right to the point. So just a quick throw out there to Trevor. My hats are off to him. He definitely does have a mind for the business. He's a very smart man. I give him that. So he's jealous. Jesus, May, you're going on. You're going to be the ref. He's stuck in the back looking in the rearview mirror. Sorry, you're looking in the rearview mirror. What's he thinking? Huh? Is that animosity, or is that just go get it, girl? You got this.
He looked at me every day, told me to go get it if this is what I wanted to do it, and that he could not be any prouder of me. He unfortunately could not be at my debut show because we didn't have anybody to watch the kids. And I woke up the next morning, and he was already watching the videos that had been posted because he felt bad that he missed my debut.
And I bet it was a good one. And I mean that, too. So, you're heading in. You're going to train. This is what you want. You know now what you want. You want to be a referee. You don't want to be a wrestler. You've made that decision. What's it like? You get in that ring. You're looking around. Now you realize, okay, now these guys are going to tell me what to do here. I'm learning. What's that like? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you step in a squared circle?
Don't screw it up. I've watched many matches where a wrestler botched a move and they moved on, and the match still ended up like A+. And then other matches, the ref screws up, and the entire match gets brought down to a D-level match because, like, when the ref fucks up, it is very obvious, and it throws the entire match off. And my first match, standing in the ring, I'm going, okay, don't screw this up. Just, no matter what you do, don't screw this up.
My first time in the ring reffing, I'll never forget it. It was a 6-man. Actually, it might have been an 8-man. It was an elimination. I was going to turn heel. I was going to set the stage on fire. We were going to go all out. Fans were going to lose it. I'm going heel. Dick Durnan rolls up. I think it was Sonny Warcloud. I can't remember now. I think it was Sonny, though. Rolls him up. I'm not even paying attention. He's got him rolled up in a pin. He looks up at me and says, "You idiot, this is the pin." I said, "Oh." So, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I sucked. No, I was worse than that. You know what? Dig a hole. I should never have been reffing a match.
Your first match should not have been a 6-man. There's a lot of action going on in the ring, and, like, I only had 2 guys in the ring my first time, and I found myself paying attention to more of one than the other, just because. And like when there's 6 of them, it's hard to see what's going on behind you and what's going on in front of you and thinking about what's going on behind you.
I know. I didn't know if I was supposed to light a cigarette or count to 3. I was more counting on going out for the drink after the show. I didn't know that, But enough about me. Enough about me, because that's not what this is about. This is all about you. This is all about you. So, you're training. It all goes well. Who gives you your first break? Who calls you and says, okay, man, you're coming in. You're reffing. This is your night. You're getting a paycheck. Who makes that first call for you?
Well, kind of me, because I contacted CAW, told them that I was looking into reffing, that I had never done it before, and that I'd never been in a ring. I was contacted by Cinema Chaos, who is one of the promoters, him and Simon DeVoe, who is Jaws. And I was contacted by him. He told me, message me on Facebook, and we'll talk about it. So I messaged him on Facebook. This was towards the end of July. And he told me our next show is September 14 in Chipagan. And he's like, meet me in Bathurst at this address. I will drive you there. You'll meet all the guys. We'll get you trained. And we'll put you in the ring. I was like, okay, sure. When I got there, they asked me, what do you know about reffing? And I was like, well...
Why I'm here.
So, for about 20 minutes, which is all I got, we got in the ring, and they were like, okay, if I'm holding this guy on the ropes like this, what do you do? I was like, I count 4. And he was like, okay, if I don't let go, what do you do? I was like, I push you away. And they're like, all right. And we're like, if I do this, and he just randomly rolls up another guy, he's like, what do you do? I was like, I do a pin. And he's like, well, do it. So I was like, okay.
Smart.
We just went around the ring, did a couple of things, and they were like, yeah, okay, you understand how to ref. And we went out back, we set up the locker room, and then we finished up everything else, like chairs and whatnot, because we did this as soon as the ring was ready. There was no chairs yet. We all sat down together, ate, and then they told me who I was going to be reffing. Homeless Bob and Shane Stevens. Bob was already there, so I got to talk to him a little bit. When Shane got there, I told him who I was, that it was going to be my debut, and what kind of match him and Bob were planning on having. So they walked me through most of what was going to be going on in the ring, all the big spots, the little spots, the actual finish, just so I would know what to expect. And they both told me not to overthink it.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I think I can do that. And they're like, if you forget a spot, you forget a spot. It's no big deal. He's like, we're going to be calling them to you before we do them anyway. So I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Good ring general.
They ended up not calling a single one of their spots in the ring. They never just went on and did them. I was like, it's a good thing I remembered them all.
Wow. What a debut. No, but in fairness, and I don't know how they were, and maybe you'll tell me a little more, but new ref coming in, they might be thinking, hey, this is high profile. We're looking for a specific moment here, and we're not going to get it from a newbie. We need a veteran in here. So what were they like? Were they, hey, welcome? Were they welcoming? Obviously, they weren't ring generals, or they'd have kept you right up to cue what's going to happen. But with that said, that's nor here or there. But what were they like for you? Were you like, okay, yes, I'm in. Like, these guys like me. They seem really cool. They're down to earth. They understand I'm new.
Bob is a wonderful person, very down to earth, very understanding, has had very hard times in his life, and therefore doesn't judge others for theirs. So when I told him I was new and that I was starting off that night, and he was like, okay, we'll do this a little more simple. He's like, we will take care of you in that ring, and we'll make you feel at home. When I told Shane, pretty much the same reaction. He was like, everybody has to start somewhere.
Right.
He's like, we're going to make sure that you feel comfortable in that ring. We're going to make sure that you feel at home. And if anything goes wrong, we're there for you, and we're going to make sure it doesn't look bad.
See, and you gotta appreciate that. That's really cool of them to be on that level with you.
I was lucky to have 2 vets my first match.
Absolutely. And a homeless guy. I mean, when you got homeless there, you know you're good. And I've heard, you're not the first person to tell me very nice things about Bob. I had the pleasure of meeting him once, and I've heard nothing but good things about him. So, and Shane, I'm sure
absolutely. Bob is an absolutely wonderful human being. Like I've never ever met someone so straightforward and like with his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
He will go through hell to make your day better, and that's amazing.
You have to appreciate someone like that. Absolutely. So, I need to take a quick break, okay? I got some sponsors, and if I don't roll this stuff, they get angry. That's not good for any of us. When we come back, I want to talk to you a bit more about injuries and stuff like that. Going through hard times, you know, wrestling can definitely have its toll on a spouse and a toll on your body in general. So, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back. This is the exclusive, and believe me, this is an exclusive because we have never had a referee on the exclusive. Nonetheless, it is one of the very best here in the Maritimes. It's May, and May, I got to tell you, I'm loving this interview from beginning to end so far, and you are a rock star. You've done well for yourself. Let's talk about the toll this has. Now, right now, with the COVID going on, things are a little hush-hush in the world of professional wrestling. Crappy, yes. Sucks, big time. Nothing you can do about it. But maybe it's a blessing in disguise for a lot of guys that are spending maybe a little more time at home. How has this impacted you? I mean, are you enjoying a little more time at home with the family? Obviously, it's not that we're saying that you want to be on the road and you hate being home, but are you missing the road maybe a little more than you thought?
Yeah, I had only been doing this for about 6 months when COVID hit. Like, I started in September 2019, and my last show was in March 2020. It's unbelievable how much I miss the ring, and I miss the guys, and I wish I could just, like, we want to run a show so bad. Like, just for the experience, all of us being together, like, COVID sucks.
Let's just sum it all up in one word: sucks.
It really does.
When are you hoping to be back on the road? What is the game plan? Is there a game plan? Have you heard anything?
There is areas of Canada that have started running shows. I don't know right now for New Brunswick exactly what we're planning on doing, but our zone, where I live in Hamilton, has been hit with a new outbreak.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yes it is. I know. I'm in St. John.
That the rest of New Brunswick is not experiencing. And it's...
But we feel for you. We feel for you. Remember that.
I can't technically leave to go... Like, even if we were to do a show in Pont-la-France, which is further south and not in our zone, I cannot leave my zone to go work a show. And seeing as how I'm the only ref in CAW at the moment, they can't run a show without me.
You're important.
Kind of.
This is how I knew May would be here, guys.
Unless, if the other ref were to come back for an evening and ref the show, then they could run a show without me, but I would feel a little left out.
Yes, you would, of course. And with good reason. I mean, this is how I knew, guys, May would be here. Because I thought, well, where's she going to go? She's not going anywhere. She's going to be here. But in all seriousness, so you're stuck there, obviously. Shows are not running. And as of right now, shows aren't running anyway. I did hear something about Upper Canada, like Western Canada or something. They were doing something. I don't know the details, nor did I reach out.
I think it was something like only 100 people in the crowd, and they had to be 6 feet apart, so there was a bunch of empty seats. I suppose it's still a crowd.
It's still a crowd, but you know what? I know that, you know, the first rule of thumbs in professional wrestling, whether you get a crowd of 5 or a crowd of 5,000, you perform at your highest level. You know, you give that paying audience what they came to see. But there is an overwhelming feeling within us as professional athletes in the wrestling business that we want that 5,000. We want to, you know, at the highest possible level. I mean, you know, you look at WrestleMania and they're bringing in 100,000 people, and now, well, how many did they have at this WrestleMania again? I can't remember. I think it was a record-breaking 0 or something. I mean, what did
Yeah, they did a no-crowd WrestleMania. I mean, the only people in the crowd were other wrestlers who were on the show and their spouses and family.
What a horrible deal. I mean, talk about hurting you right here. Really. That hurts. What is your relationship like right now with somebody like a Madison Miles? Some of these people that have taken off, they're now gone. They're wrestling elsewhere. Yeah, they come home here and there, but for the majority, they're gone. What kind of relationship have you been able to keep with them, if at all any?
Unfortunately, have never met her other than as a fan.
Wow.
Like, I've had her sign a handful of things, but by the time I started, she was already gone.
Wow, missed opportunity there. Really?
I've met Chantal, who is a wonderful person and a wonderful athlete, and I got to ref one of her a handful of her matches. I got to ref the first time that she wrestled Titus, which was a wonderful experience.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. That's coming up. Absolutely. Well, hell, let's get to it. First male-female match. What are your thoughts on it? Before we talk about the match, what are your thoughts on male and female in the ring one-on-one? You know what? This isn't about me, so I don't even have to answer it. I have my take on it, and it's cool whatever yours is. What are your feelings on that? Are you for it or are you against it?
Wrestling is wrestling, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're fighting another woman, whether you're fighting a man, it should all be wrestling. The show should still be the same, and it's not because there's 2 women in the ring that it's supposed to be sexier. No, it's still wrestling. To me, wrestling is wrestling, no matter who's in the ring and no matter who's doing it. Girl versus boy, boy versus girl, I don't care. It's still wrestling. and it should still be wrestling.
No, I appreciate that. I tip my cap to that. Okay, let's get right down to that nitty gritty, though. What are your feelings on Titus, first of all? Number one, what are your feelings on Titus? Because I love Titus. I have the utmost respect for Titus. I think Titus is, if I could call him anything, he's the forgotten. Because I think he would be extremely beneficial to a company like NXT, for a company like Impact Wrestling or AEW, because he's got so much talent and he's so smart and knows that ring. He knows his area. What are your thoughts on someone like Titus?
He's amazing. He's too good to be here. He should be in bigger places. To have him in one of our rings is honestly an honor. His talent is almost like unequivalated in the Maritimes.
Yeah.
And he is so brutal in that ring and so safe. Like it all looks so brutal, but like if you pay close attention, every one of those moves are done so safely. Like his opponents are never at risk. And that's amazing. And the real person who is Titus is not this imposing beast. He is such a sweetheart. And to be able to go from that to, like, the Predator is honestly amazing. Like, you wouldn't think that, like, the big beast Titus the Predator is, like, such a good guy when not wearing that mask.
If I had to put, and this is saying a lot, because I've always said I hold guys like Cowboy Mike Hughes and Brody Steele on different levels. You know, those two to me are wrestling here in the Maritimes, and I would put Titus maybe on the exact same level as them. Mainly because Titus, you know, I've heard stories where he listened and he got it, and he wanted to be the best of the best of the best. And you can't discredit that. You know, someone willing to work that hard.
He's not just amazing at doing it, he is amazing at teaching it too. I had the opportunity to go to the IHW school for one night and do wrestling training for one night, and Titus was the one teaching us that night. And his ability to teach is just as great as his ability to show it off. Like, he understands the business so well, and he understands that ring so well that he can use the right words and explain it to just about anyone, so they understand it too.
Yeah, he's definitely a unique individual. I love him to death. I really do. Had the chance, obviously I've been around him a lot of times, and he shows me nothing but the utmost respect, and vice versa when it comes to me and him. All right. We got to get into a few other things here. I got lots, like I said, there's lots of stuff I want to talk to you about. You know, for, the only New Brunswick female referee, that's a big deal, really. I know there's other refs.
I'm the only one from New Brunswick. Emily Parker does ref in New Brunswick when UCW comes.
Living in New Brunswick. You are a New Brunswick referee no matter how you look at it. And I get Emily does come here too. But you're from here. You're fighting an uphill battle. You're swimming upstream. I mean, let's be honest. It's not an easy, only in the last 7 years have we seen more female referees than ever before. It's not a, depending on who you talk to, it's a male-dominated profession. Okay?
To see Aubrey Edwards on a platform like AEW was absolutely amazing. I was like, oh, crap, there's more of us.
Yep. And there should be more of you. Because you know what? Professional wrestling is only as good as its next competitor. You and the women that are coming up in this industry, you guys are making it. Females are professional wrestlers. They're superstars. They're the exact same as men. I was never a fan of divas. I was never a fan of knockouts. No, they're professional wrestlers. They're superstars. We're all the same. We all want to reach the exact same goal. That's my feelings. And the more you guys are coming up, the women referees, you said something earlier that completely blew my mind about women holding the camera. The cameramen were camera women. Everything was women. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, anyone can do any of those things, and it should not always just be a man because it's a man. I've always been very strong on women's rights, and I'm never going to change on that. So, what is your feelings? You just told me how you felt about AEW. But, what if someone like you, or Emily, and I'll use Emily because you said her name a lot during this episode, but what if someone like you and Emily were to get that call, hey, Paul Levesque just got the phone with us. We're going up to, NXT. We're going to ref a match up there they want to try and say. I mean, what's that mean to you? Is this as far as you're looking to go, May? Is this it? Or do you, if you can go bigger, go strong? Or what is your future goals in this business?
Well, my current goals, are to ref in every province of the Maritimes. I've accomplished New Brunswick. Once I've done that, I'd like to move on to Maine and get to ref in Maine and also Ontario, just to slightly move out of the Maritimes. But I don't want AEW or WWE. It's not about the fame. It's about the reffing and the experience in the local scene. I really love our local guys, and I want to stay mostly local. I mean, if I get a tryout for NXT, I'm going to go. It's not something you turn down.
That's right.
It's a one-in-a-lifetime experience that you don't say no to.
That's right. Good call. I like that. I was worried there for a minute.
But it's not something I'm working towards.
No, absolutely. I mean, I get it. You love home. You love our guys and girls. So now I'm going to throw something at you, and this obviously is just, I don't think it'll ever happen. NXT Canada is going to open up next week. Okay? You get the call. You're going up. It's going to be in Toronto. They're going to put it in, the University of Toronto. That's where, we got UK. We've got Full Sail. May's going up. She's going to be in the University of Toronto being a full-time referee for NXT. Where's your thoughts on that? And this is all hypothetical, but where's your thoughts at? Where are you at now? Are you going? Are you staying back? Are you moving the family? What are your thoughts?
Moving my family is not that easy. I have two young children. They're 7 and 5, and they're both autistic. They both require extra help in school and extra programs, which they're currently taking and they're used to. But it is something I would definitely talk to my husband about, and it is not a decision I would make on my own.
No, of course
if
not.
He would be okay with it, I would consider moving to do this permanently if it were to happen.
Your husband, I think, is probably, and I think this is a fair statement, is probably your number one fan. I mean, that's the one thing we're able to count on in this business is that, if you're lucky enough and your husband or your wife are in love with the business the same way you are, the one thing you have is the support. Now, just talking to Trevor when I spoke to him, he would have that different look in his eye when he got talking about you in the business than he did talking about his overwhelming love for the business. So I was getting two sides of Trevor. And to me, that speaks volumes because it's hard to have a relationship in this business. And people know it is. I mean, we've seen more divorces and more trouble from this business than we have good. And that is, I think, a very true statement. So what does that mean to you that he seems to always be right there by your side? I mean, you just said it. He'd be all for going to Toronto and being a part, but that's all hypothetical. But the one thing about him is, yeah, he does stand right there with you.
I am extremely lucky about that. He is my best friend and partner in everything when it comes to our lives. Like, I could not ask for a better husband or a better person in my life. His ability to push me forward has really boosted me in this business. Like, his want of me to go further has really helped, and I could not ask for more.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things in the world if you can get that support. I got to take a quick break, but when we come back, what I want to cover toward the ending of this show, obviously, is people that have inspired you, people that have made you want to go get to that next level. Okay, and I want to talk about more future goals of yours and obviously the love of your family that you have, and I can see it and I can feel it when you talk. So I want you to hang tight. We're going to come right back and we're going to discuss the rest of that here on The Exclusive. And we are back here. I don't know what you were doing, but that was funny because you were like right up. Okay, guys. This is the fun part. This is the part where you're gonna see May get all emotional and stuff, but it's not gonna happen, right, May? You're gonna stay strong. The interview has been excellent. You have been a rock star, and I'm very, very proud of this show. So let's talk about some people that have inspired you in this business. I know you said Rey Mysterio. I know we talked a little bit about Madison Miles, but I want to talk a little more about maybe some local people that inspired you. I know you said Madison, obviously. But, you were talking earlier about Titus and things like that. Who are some people that have really inspired you in this business to want to succeed?
Well, Trevor, one person, he's always pushed me to go forward, and he's always pushed me to be better. He is not just my number one fan, he is also my number two critic, because that would be me who's the first.
Absolutely.
He is always telling me, like, you did amazing, but you shouldn't do this or this. And I always agree, and he has made me a better ref. Emily Parker, of course. Watching her ref, her energy, her passion has, watching her do it, knowing that she is smaller than me and shorter than me, seeing her in the ring with guys like Marcus Burke and other guys who were just as big, I was like, if she can do it and she can have the respect and she can be stern enough to tell these guys what to do when they listen, why can't I do it? If she can, then I can too. And talking to her too, I got to talk to her after shows and I befriended her a little bit, and hearing what she has to say about reffing and the feelings of it, like, I would say I accredit a lot of my want to be a ref to Emily. Like, she is probably the number one reason why I am a ref today.
You know, it's funny because there's nothing more important. But you said something there about critic. You're your number one critic. Trevor's your number two. How hard are you on yourself? And I'm only asking because judging by how you just said that, you're your number one critic. How hard are you? Are you too hard on yourself, in your opinion? Or maybe in Trevor's opinion, are you too hard on yourself?
He seems to think I'm a little too harsh on myself. I seem to think I'm just quite harsh enough. I was like, yeah, well, if I don't say those things to myself, it's never going to change.
But remember, you're not perfect. Neither am I. And neither is the next person. And you got to remember
I know.
that. You are good. I watched what you sent me. You're good. Don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Take a step back and enjoy the time you have, okay? Don't spend all your time burying yourself, okay? Because you do a good job and live for the moment, or you're going to regret that later on. Live in the moment.
When I do good things, I'm like, ooh, that one was good.
Yeah.
I did good there.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad. And make sure you do that. Do it more often, okay? Because you are good, honestly. Be proud of yourself and live in the moment. Don't live for after the show when you quit it, when you're sitting there putting yourself down. What is it that... Okay, no, go ahead, please. My goodness,
this
go ahead.
person might not have been someone who inspired me, but I do want to say a huge thank you to Shane Stevens. After our match, he told me that if I would not have told him himself it was my debut, he would not have believed it. And less than 2 weeks after that match, I was contacted by IHW for a tryout. And some of my friends in the business have told me that Shane sent them the link to our match and asked them to watch it. And him doing that means so much. And, like, I can never, ever, ever thank Shane enough for this.
Well, then, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about that even before we go too far into all this. When you get that call from another company that maybe you haven't worked for yet, and you're finding out, you know, hey, yeah, listen, Shane Stevens, he put your name through. We just want to talk to you, want to meet you, want to give you a tryout. What's that mean to you when someone calls you? Like, I don't know every spot you've been to. So what's that mean to you when someone calls you and says, hey, we got your name? You know, it's not like we pulled it out of a box of gimmicks. We didn't pull your name out of a hat. We got your name from someone that we respect, and we want to bring you in. So what's that mean when someone does that for you?
I was so shocked. Like, my debut was on September 14th. On September 29th, I get a message from my boss, Sylvain, who says, Peter from IHW has just contacted me, and he's asking questions about you. Would you like to talk to him? I was like, yeah, sure. And I did not believe whatsoever at first that it had anything to do with a tryout. I was like, I started 2 weeks ago. I've done 2 matches. I was like, this can't be real. So I messaged him back, and he asks me for footage. So I sent him the footage of Homeless Bob versus Shane. And from that, he asked me if I could be at the show at the end of October. Unfortunately, my schedules for work are done a month in advance, and I could not make it. So he asked me to go on the November 29th show instead, and I was like, yeah, sure, of course. The plan was just to give me a tryout. I was going to go before the show. They were going to give me a 5-minute mock match to try me out. They ended up giving me a match that night, which I was like, awesome. One of my friends have told me he has never heard of someone going into IHW, getting a tryout and a match in the same night.
Listen.
I was like, wow, okay. And not only did I get the one match, during the main event, there was a double ref bump. First ref got bumped, kicked out. Second ref got bumped, kicked out. I was asked if I wanted to be the final ref of the night who would slide in, count the 1, 2, 3, and hand the title to the champion. I was like, absolutely. I was like, I will take the pop of the show.
And people don't realize how important that is, though. I mean, people think, oh, it's a referee, it's a referee. No. The referee is not just another person. The referee is always your third person. I mean, there's no such thing as a one-on-one match. They're all triple threats because the referee is as important as the next person.
The referee is as integral to the match as the wrestler himself. Because
That's right.
Without a referee, there is no 1, 2, 3.
That's right.
Without a 1, 2, 3, there's no end to that match.
You nailed it on. That was exactly the way I would have said it. So, and IHW is a big deal. The one thing about IHW is when I think New Brunswick, I think of IHW. Period.
Longest running promotion in New Brunswick.
Yeah. They are my number one. When someone says New Brunswick Wrestling, I think of IHW. I don't think of Grand Prix. I don't think of any of that. Think of IHW. So for you to go up there and do a mock and then be told, hey, we need you to do a little more than that because you're just that good. Hey, tip your cap to something like that. That's a big deal and that's an honor. And you should be very proud of something like that. So that's the truth, honestly. Way to go. I mean that. Seriously. IHW is a big deal. And I tell everyone it is. So, you know what? They thought you were good enough. They put you on the main card immediately. That says a lot about you. And it says a lot about your in-ring ability. So, way to go. Good for you. All right. I'm not done with you just yet. I'm getting there, though. I know. You're saying, oh, my goodness. He's been keeping me here for an hour now. But you go into a place like IHW, and you have got to be losing your mind because you go in there and you're looking at these people. What are you thinking when you see some of these people that, obviously, Trevor, who's been involved in wrestling and loves some of these guys, what are you thinking when you're meeting them for the first time?
First time I met Peter face to face and he was not Brody Steele, I still felt just as intimidated as if he was.
Don't worry, so do I. Every time I meet him.
Walks up to me, shakes my hand, towering over me, and I'm just like, you're one man I never want to piss off. It was an honor to honestly meet a lot of those people. I got to watch Remy Petit put on face paint. That was amazing.
I love me some Remy.
You see the before and you see the after, but to actually watch it happen was like, I literally just sat there across the table from him and just watched him do it. I didn't really know anybody yet, so I wasn't talking to anybody yet. I was just like, man, this is so cool. To watch him become the beast of Acadie is it's such a different experience to see it all from the locker room than to see it from the crowd.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you, this is probably one of my favorite interviews I've done in a very long time. I love chatting. I love catching up. I love the business. I may not watch it all the time anymore, but when I get talking with someone, I get caught up in the moment. I relive those moments all over again. How can people find you if they need a ref? What are some of your booking things? What are you doing?
Right now, they can find me on Facebook at Maryse Landry Firth. Working on creating Instagram accounts and other platforms, but I don't have enough content for those yet.
You sound wonderful. I want to say thank you to Trevor, who told me that you were a referee and that you were moving up and you were doing great. If it wasn't Trevor telling me, I probably would have not even. I wouldn't have even got around to it because I get so caught up in my own thing. And so I thank Trevor and I thank you. I thank you for coming on this show, doing an exclusive with me. You were a rock star. I know you were, a little iffy. You're a rock star. You're a superstar. And I'm very proud of you. And I hope that you continue to move forward and ref thousands upon thousands of matches in your career.
Well, I thank you for having me. This was really fun.
I'm going to have you back again. I guarantee it. I hope you come back again. I hope you liked it. I hope you were comfortable, and I hope you took it all in. And don't be so hard on yourself.
Will do.
All right. Thank you. This has been another exclusive right here on Triple T Radio. I am Nicholas London. This is May, and we will be back again soon enough, folks. May, thank you very much, darling.
You can watch me any day on CAW on Facebook at Championship Acadian Wrestling.